Yes. So this is the oral interview for the Korean and Vietnam's War Spring Terms class with Professor Herbert Piper. I'm Kara Gregory, and this is Vietnam War veteran Jean McKeown. Thank you for joining me today. Go ahead and get started. So can you tell me if you were drafted or did you enlist in the Vietnam War?
I enlisted in the Army for 3 years.
3 years, okay. Can you tell me a little bit about your life in the years before the war started?
Yes, I graduated from high school at the age of 16 in 1963. Went to night school, was working in the fledgling IT world, and saw the war playing out on the TV screen every night, and decided, since my two brothers had joined the services, that I would also join. They were senior to me, but we come from a home of immigrant parents and thought we had to serve this country, and that's what I did, and I joined in 1966.
Oh, great. Do you believe that America's involvement in the war was beneficial or necessary?
The war was being sold at that point in time to stop the spread of communism. There was an awful lot of death on both sides. I don't know, but looking at Vietnam today, they have recovered and they are part of the world. Would that have happened if we didn't get involved? That's up to the historians to decide.
Yeah. Thank you, yes. So do you remember arriving in Vietnam, and do you remember what it was like getting there?
Yes, I do. I went over as a replacement, flew over on a 24-hour flight from New Jersey to Alaska to Japan to Vietnam. I was shaken
Yeah.
when we touched down at the airport in Vietnam by all the weaponry that was assigned to guard the airbase, and it was became very nervous.
Yes, yeah, definitely. What was your assignment, and did you see any combat?
My assignment is designated by what your MOS was, and that was mine was as a military policeman. So our mission was a couple of things. One, we were assigned to guard convoys going up and down Highway 1. We rode on open jeeps with machine guns, and of course everyone was armed. The other one was we ran a POW camp, as well as we did security for wherever the unit was. My unit was the 1st Brigade of the 101st Airborne.
Okay, very interesting. Looking back, is there anything about your assignment or mission that you wished you could have changed?
Not really. I mean, it was war, so things weren't perfect. They were a lot of messages were not received correctly or delivered correctly. It's hard to go back 50 years, but it was basically it was war, and things didn't always work out the way it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And one of your questions was, did you see combat? Yes, did, and
okay. Did your unit have any casualties?
Yes, we did, both inflicted by the enemy and inflicted through accidents from our own people.
Okay. Did you feel that your mission or sense of purpose was fulfilled there in Vietnam from your unit?
Well, from a personal standpoint, I guess yes. My government asked me to go and serve, and that I did.
Yeah.
But fulfillment, no, because of the loss of life on both sides.
Oh, very true. Yes. Did you form any close friendships with anyone in your unit, and did you stay in touch with them afterwards?
Yes, I did for about 20 or 30 years, and then over
Wow.
the remaining years, lost contact with them.
Okay. Wow. Do you remember the day that the war ended?
Not particularly. I think the war was officially ended in 1975.
Yes, yeah.
And I probably had a momentary, feeling of relief that at least bloodshed had stopped on both sides, but not overly like it would have been for the end of the Korean War or World War II.
Okay. Yeah. What was life like for you after returning from the war?
Interesting. I'll give you two things.
Okay.
One, I'm originally from New York City, so
Okay.
I was returning to my parents' home and arrived at JFK International Airport. Two incidents. Prior to that, we landed in Washington State, and then we hitched a ride on commercial aircraft from there to home. When I got to the airport, I was running late to try and catch my flight. And the person behind the counter, who was somewhat disabled, grabbed my duffel bag and ran with me down so I could get my flight.
Wow.
On arriving at JFK in New York, tried to grab a cab to go to my parents' home, and the cab driver wouldn't take me, and the ride was maybe 20, 25 minutes. It wasn't hours or anything like that. And a policeman came over and said, he said, "What's the problem here?" I said, "Well, officer, this gentleman won't take me to my home. I'm just back from Vietnam." And he opened the back door for me. He says, "You're taking him home." And so that was kind of a memory that stuck.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much for all the information that you've given. It's great hearing your story from the war. Just thank you so much for being with me here today.
Okay, thank you very much, Karen.